EJ's Wood Turning presents Wave Inlay for your ballpoint pens. First, we want to select the wood we'll use. There are many different types of woods available. Use whichever you would like. Just try to remember that you always want to have two contrasting colors. For this, I'm using a soft maple with a purple heart inlay. So to get started, we'll rip down the maple to the proper thicknesses, in this case 3/4 by 3/4. I will also rip down a strip of my inlay material off of this purple heart stock. Usually you want this to be just slightly smaller in thickness than what your blade width is. This will allow for black styrene sheeting that you will use to put your border edges on later. Now we can begin cutting the lengths of our pen blanks. You have two different size tubes in this kit. Mark them both out. Now cut down your pieces so that you have two pen blanks, your top and your bottom piece. Your top piece is where we will put the inlay, the bottom part we will leave blank. At this point, go ahead and mark the centers of your blanks. This will be a good guideline for cutting later and then for drilling your tubes in later on in the project. For now though, you want to have the centers marked so you know not to go past that point with your saw blade when cutting your inlay slots. Making a 30-degree cut across the board, this will be the slot for our inlay pieces to sit. I use this convenient sled, though you can do it without. Once your slot's cut, go ahead and test fit your inlay and your two styrene sheet pieces. If they fit, super glue them in place. Spray with an accelerator to help speed up this process. Once glued, take them to a disc sander, sand them back flush so that you have square sides again. Repeat this process on all four sides of your blank. Once completed and everything sanded back off nice and square, we can now move on to drilling. Using the correct size drill bit for your tubes, drill down through the centers of your blanks all the way through, creating a slot for your tubes to sit. Go ahead and insert your tubes into the blanks, supergluing them. Use accelerator to speed up the process if you wish. Once in, sand the top and the bottom of your blanks smooth so that just the tips of the tubes are showing. Once your pen blanks are on the mandrel, go ahead and chuck up onto the lathe and you can begin turning as normal. The rest of this process proceeds just the same as a regular pen would. Here I'm using a parting tool to make the proper diameter for the center band of our pen. The diameter for the band can be determined by the center bearing. Once properly sized, the bearing will slip over the same spot that the band will eventually sit on our pen. This lets us size both the top and the bottom of our pen to the desired diameter to ensure a proper fit and appearance for our center band of this pen. Once the pen is shaped, it's time to sand. Using progressive sanding, start with 220, go to 400, and finally 600. This will give your pen a nice smooth finish, comfortable in your hands. Once you're done sanding, apply 2 coats of sanding sealer and 2 coats of shellac for the glossy finish. Once dry, remove the pen from the lathe. Use a bench vise to install the pieces of your pen. This ensures that all the pieces are fitting properly, tightly, and will not come loose later on during usage. Use superglue to attach the center decorative ring to your pen. Just a little dab's all that's needed to hold this piece in place. Now press both halves of your pens together tightly until both halves meet in the center. Now you can see how with just a few simple cuts you can make a beautiful design to class up any pin and add a wow factor to your projects.